everybody, my name is Rabiah Sutton, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. So I grew up in the DC area. Basically, I've lived in the same 30-mile radius my entire life, and had a great childhood, had two parents who were both entrepreneurs. Went to a couple of schools, got my undergrad and graduate degrees and a graduate certificate in between, had a family, started a business, climbed the corporate ladder in between, and, am at this juncture in my life where I've been in business for about 8 years, and it has been a interesting ride. I'm now ready to scale the business. I feel like for a long time I was kind of putting along, just getting over some of the PTSD associated with working in corporate America for, a decade or so. And just really wanted, when I first started the company, FWDthink, to be able to spend time with my kids and kind of make up my salary. And so I wasn't super focused on making a whole bunch of money or hiring a bunch of folks. And so it's only been in the last, year and a half, 2 years that I have decided to do something different and to really focus on growing. My children are older. My husband is in school full time. And so it's an easier thing to do. And just my mindset has shifted as well, right? I don't have all the mommy guilt when I travel and have to do things. And they can, take care of themselves a bit better than they could when they were younger. So, my background is I started off kind of in college down the street from where I grew up, and started working part-time for a government contractor before I really knew what that meant. I started off as a clerical receptionist and ended up getting a promotion rather quickly because everyone was impressed that I was able to work the switchboard and master the switchboard over an hour period when it was taking some of the older women who had been there, a week or two to really get it down. And so, I ended up, that was like a temporary temp to perm kind of job. I ended up taking that job full time. And by my sophomore year of college, I was taking all my classes at night and working full time. And the money was really good. And I was doing contracts, procurement and contract management in the government contracting field, which really means you're reviewing all of the paperwork that is associated with a federal agency purchasing a good or service. And, I was having fun. I was young. I was making, I think, like $40,000 by the time I was 21, and I wasn't even finished with my degree yet. I transferred schools a couple of times and finally landed at American University. But I know one person from there because, like I said, I was taking all my classes at night, and everyone was significantly older than me, and I wasn't in the stage of my life where I was looking for a bunch of more friends. So I ended up working my way up through the ladder and intentionally stayed at some small businesses for about a 10-year period because I knew that I would be required, but I saw it as a strategy and a blessing, to be an opportunity to be able to do more than just my function. So, and if anyone's worked in a small business, you're wearing multiple hats. You're not just doing the thing they hired you for. You're chipping in wherever you can. And I felt like I needed to learn all of those things, all those task areas, functional areas, so that when I started my business, I would, know enough to be dangerous. And then I moved on to a large business and was there for almost 5 years before I took the leap in 2010 and started my own business. For everyone who thinks they have an entrepreneurial mindset or are interested in starting a business, my advice would be the younger, the better that you start. And people used to tell me this when I started. I think I was like 33. They would say, oh, well, you can go try it out. And if you, fail at it and you need to come back, you have time to do it. I think you have time at any point in your life to do it. It's just you have less inhibitions when you're younger, right? You're not, you don't have as many responsibilities most of the time. Some people do. But B, you just have less fear and less inhibitions around making decisions and jumping and doing things. And though jumping and doing things, taking action, taking risks is not something that I am associated with, that everyone who knows me knows, I jump first and I never look back to see how high or how far I jumped. I just jump. If something is compelling to me, I just do it, and then, either it works out or I learn something. But I definitely think the younger you start, the experience is different, right? But I felt like I needed to have some structure around just how to run the business from a business perspective. And so, I ended up going back to school, getting my master's in business from Johns Hopkins, and then just really was in a lot of pain in terms of stress around my work-life balance and just going to work and dealing with people who were not nice. And so I just decided once I graduated from Hopkins that I was going to give my notice and start my own business. And so I did. I gave my husband my bonus for the year and said, let me see what I can do for this first year. And if it works, then boom, we're off. And so that's kind of what happened. I took off. I ended up actually consulting back to the company that I had just left. So I left on a Friday as an employee. I walked back in the building on Monday as a contractor. And that lasted for about 6 months. And then I felt the need to start doing other things and figuring out how and what I was going to do with this business. So it's been 8 years, and there's been a lot of lessons and learning and things that I wish I knew, things I could have done better, but things I definitely rocked out as well. And I'm thankful for the total 360 experience. And I'm just in a really good place right now where I feel like I, want to give back, want to mentor some young folks, but also I'm ready to scale my business and take it, from the couple $1 million mark to the $150 million mark. And so I'm very much heads down and focused on that, as well as just having more fun and getting out there and kind of spreading the message. I think there's a lot of us who feel this need to not only leave a legacy, but try to change the world for the better, leave the world in a better place. And I definitely think that this and the use of social media is a way to do that. And so for that, I'm on board. Anybody who knows me personally knows I used to say a lot, I don't like people. I just really don't. And it's not that. I don't like assholes. I don't like people who are just mean for no reason, unkind, arrogant, and mistreat you. I like people who are what I consider myself to be, a giving person. I might tell it to you straight. You might not like my delivery, but my intent is always good. And so I think that, my story will continue. I'm at a little over 8 years in this business. And, by the 11-year mark, I plan to have some serious growth, and see where my journey is going to lead me. So thank you for watching. Again, my name is Rabiah Sutton, and you can find me on Insta, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter.